Hello everybody. Welcome to my Medigap to Medigap presentation. In this presentation, we're going to go over how to help somebody that currently has a Medicare supplement plan and help them switch their Medicare supplement plan right over the phone. And so we're going to start with a few things. Let's first go over some common mistakes. Okay, so I think the biggest mistake when you're helping somebody with a Medicare supplement to supplement sale is a lot of agents want to rush the quote. You do your intro, you end with the question I taught you, what is your current coverage? And they say, oh, I have a supplement plan with Blue Cross Blue Shield or AARP or whichever carrier they have. And as agents, we want to rush right to the quote, and that's what they want as the client too, is they want to get that quote from you. Well, the problem is if you rush the quote, you don't give yourself the ability to earn their business necessarily. And why a lot of agents struggle with this is they have some success when they do rush the quote because, again, you are selling savings. So if you dial enough and you work hard enough and you talk to enough people that you can save $40 or $50 a month on their plan, you will get a certain amount of people that even if you rush the quote, they will buy from you. But if you do this presentation, not only will you get those people that would have bought from you if you rushed the quote, but you're also going to get the people that would have told you no or that they had to think about it or give you an objection. Another mistake that people make is you need to know your underwriting guidelines. Now, I made available an underwriting guide cheat sheet. It's important to know your underwriting guide because let's say you do your intro, you do a good presentation, and then the client has some type of condition. Let's say they have COPD. And on the health, you're trying to sell them a carrier that doesn't accept COPD. Well, a good agent will know their guidelines and be able to pivot and say, oh, well, let me ask you this. Are you on oxygen or more than 2 inhalers? No? Okay, well, I can't take you with carrier A, but I can take you to carrier B because they'll accept that. So you want to know your underwriting guidelines, so study that cheat sheet, and that will help you convert more because you might be missing out on some opportunities or losing opportunities because you think that they're not eligible, but there might be a carrier that accepts them. Also, a big mistake is assuming the client understands their current coverage. Remember, a lot of these people bought a plan 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 7 years ago. And when I say they bought the plan, they were most likely sold the plan, meaning they talked to an agent one time, everything sounded good on the phone, and they bought the plan. So do not assume just because they have a Medicare supplement plan that they know exactly which plan they have or how it works. So you want to build credibility by explaining how it works, which I'll talk about. This presentation will help you avoid some common objections like, but I love my current carrier. So, there's some people who have Blue Cross Blue Shield, who's a great company, and they do a really good job with group benefits, but over the years, in most areas, they're not super competitive when it comes to Medigap pricing. So sometimes agents will rush the quote and they show the client because they get excited, oh, they have Blue Cross. And if we do this for a while, you know which carriers might charge a lot of money and that you can save them in certain areas. So people rush the quote and they go right to that carrier and they say, oh, well, you're paying $250. I can get you this carrier for $180. And they think, wow, I'm saving them $70 a month. No way, they don't sign up. Well, the problem is you rush the quote and they do have some type of love for the carrier if they have a supplement, because if they've had to use it, they know that in their mind that carrier paid all their bills, so it's worth the premium. So what you want to do and what this presentation will help you with is it will help you avoid that because you're going to establish certain things. I'm going to help you avoid, I need to check with my doctor to see if they take the plan, or I need to think about it or talk to a spouse or somebody else about it. So let's jump into the call structure of my Medigap to Medigap presentation. You should do a variation of these 5 things every single time. The first one is you're going to compliment/highlight their current Medigap plan. The second thing you're going to do is established Medicare supplement plans are federally regulated. The third thing you're going to do is close. The fourth thing you're going to do is then quote. And the last thing you'll do is you'll use the health questions as a takeaway to get to the application. So after this presentation, I'm going to teach you, you're going to be able to, during this presentation, learn how to do these things. So let's start with compliment/highlight their current Medigap plan. So here's what your mindset needs to be. Remember, you're about to ask this person to change their plan. You must get the client to feel that you understand what they currently have before you can ask them to change to a new plan. So that's why you're going to highlight the benefits of their plan. Not only are you complimenting them while you're doing that, but you're establishing credibility that you understand what they have. This is really important because in order for them to trust you when you advise them to change their plan, they really want to feel like you understand that you know what they have. You're also, mindset-wise, going to compliment the client on choosing a Medigap plan. Remember, this person could have chose a zero premium advantage plan or no plan at all, but instead, they at some point saw the value in paying for provider flexibility and financial predictability by getting a Medigap plan. So, here's how you do step one in a statement. First, do not ask them this. What do you like about your plan? Instead, highlight what we know people like about their supplement plan. You can go to any, so you want to say like, hey, you can go to any provider, any hospital. It's nationwide coverage. You never really have a bill. So here's a statement that will accomplish that for you early on in the phone call. So here's like step one. So someone said they have, let's say, Blue Cross Blue Shield Plan G. Well, I want to say, wow, you made a really good choice by going with a Medicare supplement plan. I really like the G plan, and Blue Cross Blue Shield, that's a great company. I'm sure you like with your plan that you can go to any doctor, any hospital, and that you never really have a bill, no copays or any surprises. You made a really good choice by choosing a supplement and a good choice by choosing Blue Cross Blue Shield. That's a great carrier. So again, I compliment their decision, and I also painted the picture and highlighted that I understand what they have to an extent. The next step is I want to establish that Medicare supplement plans are federally regulated. Notice, I use the word establish here, not just say it. Okay? So here's your mindset. Do not just say that all the plans are the same. You must get the client to understand and feel this. The better you do here, the less of a hurdle you will have when you ask the client to enroll. So, here's some questions that you can ask. Did you know Medicare makes it easy for you to shop and compare? The letter of the plan, and then what page there is, you can tell them what page it is on your Medicare and U book, okay, or on the choosing Medigap policy, that the letter of the plan determines the coverage, not the carrier. So here, the letter of the plan determines the coverage, not the carrier. Your doctor will take the plan the same. The plan will pay the bills exactly the same. The only difference is how much you pay per month. There are no shortage of A-rated carriers that are competing for your business. So later on, I'll give you an example of a statement of how I say that in our call flow, but it's something like, so you get, you just complimented them, and then you pivot to, did you know Medicare makes it easier for you to shop and compare your plan? Yep, it's right in your Medicare and U book that Medicare federally regulates the plans, so the letter of the plan determines your coverage. So Blue Cross Blue Shield's a great company, and Plan G is a great plan, but there's over 30 different companies that offer that same exact Plan G that are competing for your business. So it's the same exact Plan G. Your doctor will take it the same. It pays your bills exactly the same. The only difference is you're going from one great company to another great company and how much that company is charging for the Plan G. So that's an example of like a statement that you can tie all those things in together. Okay? Next step is now I'm going to close them. So I'm going to get a commitment that they want to, if I can accomplish a couple things for them, that's what they want to do. And then notice I'm doing this before I quote. I've not quoted them yet. So here's a statement. Now that you understand that all the carriers offer the same coverage and the only difference is the amount that you pay, if I can take you from the great carrier you have right now, Blue Cross Blue Shield, to another great company, say Aetna, Mutual of Omaha, Cigna, AARP, United Healthcare, and I can get you that same exact plan that you have, that Plan G that you have right now, where your doctor takes it the same and it's going to pay your bills exactly the same, but I could save you money, would that accomplish what you're looking to do today? So there's a couple of variations you can do that there, but the point is I want to get a commitment from them that if I can get you the same plan that you have now for less money, would that accomplish what you want to do today? Okay? So that's something that if you can get that commitment from them, you can tie back to it later if they give you any objections, like, oh, I need to think about it or talk to a spouse. You can tie back to this close and say, well, but wait a second, we talked about it and how you love your plan, but you just didn't like how much the premiums increased to. So, and I was able to help you find another great company that has the same exact plan for less money, and you have ammo to come back at them to get them to pull the trigger. So now you're going to close, and your quote during the close is you're going to quote the client and highlight that just like with any insurance that they have, if they have not shopped their coverage in a couple of years, then they're overpaying. And most of you, if you guys are in sales, you know how to quote, right? So you're going to quote them. So you tell them, hey, you have Blue Cross Blue Shield, they're $250. I've got Mutual Omaha for $180. Wow, that's a $70 a month savings for the same exact plan. Again, your doctor is going to take it and it's going to pay exactly the same. The only difference is you're going to save $70 per month for the same exact plan. Okay? Or if you're, and I'll go over this some in our call flow that I provided. But like if they're going from an F to a G, or G to G or N to N, you might have to change that up a little bit. If they're going from F to, if they have an F and you want to take them to a G or an N, you want to explain the macro changes. A couple things like, hey, nobody new can enter the plan that's turning 65. So we've seen some larger rate increases over the past couple of years, and I think those are going to continue. So that's another reason. With plan F to G, a big reason is simple math equals great savings. And then show them the benefit of choosing a plan G over F by being willing to pay their own deductible. Now, the final step, which a lot of people, sometimes a lot of agents can struggle with, which is asking for the close or getting the client to the application. So I'm going to show you here how to use the health questions as a takeaway. So mindset, use the health questions as a takeaway. In sales, a takeaway can be a very effective tool. I'll give you an example. If you have kids, you know that there could be a toy or a video game or something sitting on the floor from Friday to all day Friday night, all day Saturday night, all day Sunday, and then come Sunday night when one of your kids wants to play with that toy, all of a sudden both kids want to play with that toy. Why? Because now it's not available. It's a takeaway. Because their sibling was about to take that toy, and now the option of that sibling able to play with that toy has been taken away, all of a sudden now they want that. It's just psychology. It's the same thing with anything. So here, now you're positioning the power here of, instead of asking them to enroll, by taking this option away from them with the health questions, now instead of you asking them for a favor, in other words, of submitting an application, now you guys are working together and they're almost asking from you, ooh, can I qualify? Right? So I'll show you that in a second. Another thing that's a buying sign or something in telesales is time commitment from the prospect. So a big buying sign that we can get in telesales is the amount of time the customer is willing to speak to us. The longer you have the client on the phone, to an extent, the better your chances are of that client purchasing from you. Now, I am not an advocate to start data dropping and info dropping useless stuff to keep somebody on the phone. You'll bore them to death and they'll want to leave. But as long as you're having a structured call flow and adding value throughout the call, and you have this step-by-step process, getting time from them is a commitment from them, and that will be a buying sign. So here is what you should say to use health questions as a takeaway and to get that time commitment. Now, Mr. Jim, Mr. Smith, Jim, however you guys, some people say go by first name, last name. I usually go by first name at this point. So now, Jim, before we get too excited, so you just did the quote, so you just showed them the savings. So, hey, Jim, now before we get too excited, we need to see if you medically qualify for these savings. So please go and grab a list of your medications for me, and I'm going to pull up the health questions on the application to see if you qualify for these savings. So this statement does some really important things. One, I'm controlling the call. I'm telling the client what to do, setting expectations, which is what you really want to do on a telesales call, is control the call. I asked Jim to go get his medications. If he does, this is a huge buying sign. Again, if he goes and grabs them, great. If he doesn't, don't stop. Still pull up the health questions, and again, try to. That's going to give you more opportunity to gain trust and gain more time and gain that ability to go through the health questions and then have them grab the medications. But a good agent, you'll go ahead and already have the application moving while you're working. But for those of us that haven't done this before, this is also a good opportunity for you to log in to whichever carrier now has the best price, and you're going to pull up their application. And remember, in Medigap applications, once you pull up the quote, most of the e-apps, you do not have to go in order on the app. So you can go ahead and click right into the health questions. The other thing you can do is print off each of the company's health questions and have them available, but they don't have to know that. So you can say, hey, go ahead and go grab your medications. I'm going to pull up the application. It's so you're getting a time and controlling the call. The other thing it is, again, it's that takeaway that we were talking about where you're shifting the power to I'm asking this person to sign up to now this person is asking you if they can qualify, and now you're an advocate and you guys are working together to get this person savings for the same plan. And it also helps agents get into the app. You know, everyone's different. Some people are naturally better at sales. Some people are naturally great. Some people are naturally good. Some people are naturally okay. Some people are naturally poor. Well, some good agents or medium, good skill baseline agents, a lot of us lack confidence in asking for that close. So this is a way for you to not have to be some master closer, but it's a way for you to like that trial small close of let's get to the application. Because then once you get through the health questions and you get through the medications, at that point you're going to have such a rapport with this person that the application is assuming the rest of it is assuming the application. Okay, great. Grab your Medicare card. I'm going to, now you guys are doing this together. Okay. Okay. So here's some common objections that I want to give you guys some good rebuttals to. I need to think about it. Can you send me some information? So I'm going to read this big long paragraph, but essentially what it is in your head, if someone says I need to think about it on a Medigap to Medigap, it should trigger your immediate response of, well, so does the insurance company. And then however you can articulate that your way, I would recommend using that to overcome this objection. So here's just something that I've used. Okay, I understand you have to think about it, but so does the insurance company. I recommend going ahead and let's submit the application together, and you'll get an email copy of everything we do today from me. Then my office, or if you're an agent that's working by themselves, then I'll give you a call in a few days to let you know if you've even been approved or not. At that time, we can help you cancel either policy. We can cancel this one that is saving you money for the same exact coverage, or we can cancel the one that you are overpaying for. Obviously, if approved, you'll want to keep the better valued plan. So you can say that numerous ways. Okay, you could say, make it your own, but essentially, yeah, so does the insurance company. So I've done this both ways. I can go ahead and email you this information. You can look at it. I can call you back in a couple of days. And then of course, you're going to want to sign up because we talked about it's the same exact coverage, same type of plan, same type of coverage for less money, where your doctor takes it the same. It's going to pay all your benefits the same. Obviously, you're going to want to sign up. So then we can submit an application, and then we have to wait another 3 to 5 days to find out if you're even eligible because the underwriter is going to have to go through your application, call you, do the interview. Or what I like, the best way to do it is what I recommend is let's go ahead and get the ball rolling today. Let's get the application submitted to the underwriter. The underwriter will call you in the next couple of days, go over the same health questions I went over with you, but at least it's processed. And then now we're 3 to 5 days. I'll give you a call. If you haven't been approved, no big deal. You keep your current plan. If you have been approved, then I can either help you cancel this one, which is going to get you the same exact plan for less, or you can continue overpaying, or I can help you cancel the one you're overpaying for, which obviously that's what you're going to want to do, cancel the one you're overpaying for. Again, not a super aggressive, but it's a logical answer to a logical question. Like, hey, well, okay, that sounds good. Let me think about it. Well, here's a logical thing of, okay, cool, but so does the insurance company. So let's get the ball rolling at the same time. It takes a little bit of pressure off. If they say, hey, now here's something I want you guys to really learn, and this is something that is a little bit next level, but a lot of times you'll be if you recognize, which is great, if you get a double application, meaning you get a husband and a spouse. Like, there's not a whole lot better than that, because if you bought the lead, you're about to get twice the value for that lead. The problem, though, is a lot of times if you don't do your Medigap to Medigap presentation the right way, then if one spouse, you get through the health question, then one spouse answers yes to a health question. Now it's sometimes you'll get an emotional response from the other person who is healthy enough that will say, okay, well, I don't want to apply. If they won't take my wife or my husband, I don't want to go. So here's a couple things that will help you avoid that. And this can even happen after the sale if one gets declined, one gets approved. But if you do this early on, so once you recognize that there is a spouse in the house, you need to position it from let me save you money on your Medicare supplement to household savings. So when you go through your quote process, instead of saying, oh, I'm saving you $30 and I'm saving Mrs. Smith $25, say, wow, we're saving your household $55 if both of you are eligible. Like, start bringing up that. Like, if, and then call it household savings. Wow. So, and here's why. So then if you get through the application and you find out that she doesn't qualify and he does, now you can say, listen, I got some, okay, so it's not as great as we were hoping. I'm not going to be able to save your household $55 per month and then whatever that equals to per year. But we are good news is it looks like we are going to be able to save your household $30 a month, which is this amount per year and all this and that. And then we can try, now that I'm your agent, I'll give you a call here. Your wife had diabetes and it was not stable yet. So looks like it's going to be stable in 13 months. So I'll give you a call to get her and get her joined. So, you position yourself. One way is a negative message. Oh, well, your wife's not going to qualify, but do you want to still sign up? To where that's a bad way. To where a good way is, hey, I got household savings for you. It's not going to be as much as we were hoping for because it looks like we're going to have to wait to get her eligible until this date. But for you, we're going to still save you $30 a month. So it's just a different positioning of that. And then another one, this is going to be something that we're running into that we do a good job of, but I think I should keep Plan F. It's going away, so I want to keep it. So first of all, you really want to know about macro, which I'll do another video on, because anybody who has a Plan F can keep it. But not only if somebody who has an F now, if they go to a G, if F's a better deal in 2 or 3 years, they can go back to F. So with macro, as long as they went on Medicare before January 1st, 2020, they're eligible to get an F. So even if somebody has a plan N or G now, and if some of these carriers that think F's going to be a better buy, which I disagree with, but if they're right, then in 5 years from now, then that person can still go to an F as long as they're healthy enough. So you want to know these rules, but to keep it simple is, listen, simple math equals great savings, and just show them why pay an insurance company $700 a year just to pay your $198 deductible. The insurance companies make enough money. I'd rather put that money back in your pocket, and that's not just a $500 savings now, but that's next year and the year after. So let's keep that money in your pocket, and then explain to them, listen, no one new to Medicare after January 1st, 2020 can enter Plan F, which will make the Plan F most likely drive up premium costs. That's my thought, and so far I believe it's been true. Again, the average 70-year-old has more claims than the average 65-year-old. So if you think about it, in 5 years from now, the youngest person on a Plan F is going to be 70. Now, I know some carriers out there are advertising they have a Plan F strategy. I'll be interested to see how that works. Here's another reason. Talk about how the Part B deductible increased by $12 2020 and how that impacted increases for Plan F. So if someone's still on the fence about it, I would say, listen, the Part B deductible has increased this year, and I think it's going to continue doing that. If you look at 2020, it went up $12. So let's look at a carrier. Let's look at a carrier and say they have 1 million people on Plan F and 1 million people on Plan G. Well, if they have 1 million people on Plan F and that Part B deductible increases by $12 per person, then it just cost that carrier $12 million more to insure that Plan F book of business. Who do you think is going to pay for that? It's not going to be the carrier. They're going to increase the Plan F premiums to compensate for that. Adversely, or opposite of that, Plan G, if the Part B deductible goes up or increases like it did by $12, there's no real impact to the carrier about that. So sure, you're going to pay $12 more for the whole year, but that's much better than maybe paying $6 or $7 more per month to compensate. So know your macro laws for Plan F. If you want some help with that, just let me know. I think I have a video that I released to our internal agents. I can share that with you guys, but it goes over everything you need to know. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a call flow that I shared with the group. Okay, so I have a call flow here from Medigap to Medigap. It's basically like this PowerPoint presentation, but it's broke down to a sheet or a couple pieces of paper that you can actually print out and put onto your desk. And I would practice this. Practice with your dog, your spouse, your kids, or whoever. But if you continue with this training, we're going to continue to learn how to win the first 3 minutes with your intro and fact finding. And as you will learn, 90% of the time, that answer to what is your current coverage, it's going to dictate where you take the call. It's either going to be some type of version of an educational presentation, and then you need to know exactly where to go to control the call, ask the right questions, or they're going to answer some type of supplement plan, and then okay, in your head, Medigap to Medigap. Oh, cool. I even have some agents that have the educational call flow on the left side of their desk, and the Medigap to Medigap on the right side of their desk. And once they get that question, they shift their seat and they work through it. And it just really helps them because that's really what it is. It's got to work both sides of your mind there because it's really two different calls, two different types of presentations. But I promise you, if you guys work on this and get your pitches down, control the calls, you guys will have success selling Medicare via telesales. All right. I hope you guys found this Medigap to Medigap presentation helpful. If you have any questions, I'll be around. Thank you.